is Blanche de Bois?
In the play Streetcar named Desire, we were introduced to the character Blanche as a well-propered Southern belle who is sweet, lovely, and smart.
But through the continuation of the play, we find out the sweet, smart, and lovely character may just be a persona.
Then again, Blanche was truly sweet and trusting. She was innocent.
So which one is truly the real Blanche? Is it the sweet, innocent Blanche? Or the degenerate and promiscuous Blanche? See, during scene 5, we were shown Blanche's seductive behavior as she flirted her way through a young man and ended up kissing him. We were left to wonder why she would go for such a young man, and in the end would hear her last line, "I've got to be good, and keep my hands off of children." Now with this, of course, with such an uncomfortable scene with this young man, we grew to doubt her more. To follow, during scene 6, we were let into Stanley and Stella's conversation about Blanche. There we found out that due to her getting kicked out of her teaching job was actually from her affair with one of her 17-year-old students.
Now, Blanche's link to her seductive behavior may be from her fondness or so-called job entertaining men in this very infamous hotel. See, Flamingo was the name of the hotel Blanche had stayed in, and the bird flamingo is very brightly colored, much to grab anybody's attention. With this symbolism that links towards the character Blanche, we were expected to see that she is not the muted down color like her own name we were to expect. She was louder than that. Speaking of vulgar behavior, we were also shown Blanche's desperate need of affection and attention towards strangers. We see that Blanche only seduces men in order to get attention and affection. During scene 9, Mitch, one of the men that Blanche is involved with, found out about her scandalous past. Throughout the scene, Mitch goes and confronted Blanche. And during this confrontation, Blanche admitted her past. She had confirmed staying at this Flamingo hotel. However, she did not call it that. Blanche had called it Tarantula. Continuing her first stop argument, "I stayed at a hotel called the Tarantula Arms."
But why did Blanche call this place Tarantula instead of Flamingo? I mean, what do tarantulas do? All spiders, just like the tarantula, trap their prey, meaning that this hotel sounds as inviting as the name Flamingo, but man there gets trapped. And we'd assume Blanche is one of those tarantulas. And we were right. Blanche also followed her argument with, end quote, "That's where I brought my victims," end quote. This claims that Blanche is truly this promiscuous, degenerate human that in reality she hides through this fake, innocent act. Then again, Blanche did have a reason for her behavior. See, Blanche came from a wealthy family along with her sister Stella. Both were raised in L'Oreal to be this high-class Southern belle that knows etiquette and manners. So, what could have happened to Blanche being this completely different person that she was raised to be?
We also found out in the end of season 6 that Blanche was married to a young boy once. During her marriage, Blanche ended up finding out about her husband's homosexuality, and him ended up committing suicide due to it. That last bit of scene 6 was where Blanche revealed her own reality. She had explained that those were the times that turned a blinding light on something that had always been half in shadows.
This line meant that Blanche's whole world was about her marriage and her abundance of love towards her husband. But due to a one-sided relationship, finding out that her own husband cannot love her, she thought as if she failed him completely, especially the night after she had confronted her feelings about her husband's sexuality.
Because of this, Blanche finds herself witnessing her dead husband that had run out to end his life during their night out. This scene gives us an explanation towards Blanche's longing for young, innocent love. We also see that due to this event, Blanche's whole world fell apart, that in this one moment has permanently traumatized her. Her life from the beginning was such a tragic story. No wonder she longs for this sense of fairy tale life, whereas everything is pure and innocent compared to her reality. We can't doubt that Blanche seeks attention and affection over others. Because after her husband died, no one was there to save her from depression. With that matter, her affair towards one of her students was due to her need to relieve this young, bright kind of love that she once had with her husband.
Knowing this past of Blanche had made us understand on how she led this indecent way of life. We'd realized that throughout of the play, her vulgar behavior was just a coping mechanism in order to function or escape her dreadful reality that she is trapped in. Let's go back to scene 9, where Mitch confronts Blanche about the hotel she had stayed in. Tarantula arms, as she described it. At first, we'd assume she'd be the predator that traps her men, but it was much more deeper than that. That after Blanche was fired from her school, she ends up with nothing at this point. In order to regain her sanity, and as well as to make a living, she had to take refuge at this hotel called Flamingo.
Tarantula symbolizes of dark and cunning creatures. They'd always trap their prey, and through that, no one can escape. This symbolizes Blanche's situation. Due to her desperation after losing her job, she had to think of another way to live. And with her desperation, she was led to make the decision to take this scandalous solution. With this choice, Blanche feels trapped from her commitment. And with this, she cannot escape her choice and also her innocence back, as she was too deep in this dark webbing of regret and shame. And throughout all of this, Blanche had to face this alone with no one to rely on.